Hey, project return members, this is Mr. James. We're going to do a project today mixing fall colors out of the primary colors. And the primary colors, we've been over this a couple times in class, but we're going to be a little bit experimenting today. So we're going to use blue acrylic paint, just basic blue, red, and yellow. I'm also going to use little dabs of white and black. Alright, so we're going to need a good assortment of brushes just to mix up the colors. And we're obviously going to need a container of water, clean water. And you'll have to empty it and refill it up a couple times. Some paper towels for wiping off your brushes and drying them off. Or a scrap rag. I'm using this plastic tray as my, to hold the paint while I'm mixing it. And then to use the paint on, we can use a small canvas or just a large piece of paper that's, a multimedia paper, sketch paper, as long as it holds the paint. You can even use cardboard if you like, but I'm using this canvas paper. Okay, so we're going to get our palette ready. We're going to do some red, blue, yellow. And remember, these are all just basic primary colors, and a little bit of black and a little bit of white on our palette. Obviously, you want to lay down something on the table or surface you're working on because it will get messy. There may be paint splatters. I definitely get paint all over myself. And although you can't see my shirt, I am wearing a shirt that I don't mind getting paint on. Put the palette to the side and lay out your paperwork or whatever you're going to be painting on your surface and start mixing the colors together. Sometimes I like to put out the primary colors first, the red, the yellow, and the blue, to kind of see what I'm starting with. But I'm just going to do starting with the red and then the yellow. And then I'm going to start mixing them together to make an orange color palette. Because when we think fall, we think browns and oranges, some kind of like brownish purples. It's kind of hard to describe until you really see it. I would strongly recommend picking up some leaves from outside that you see starting to change color, or find some pictures that you really like online of different color leaves of fall. Maple leaves are really nice to look at also when they're changing in the fall. So we're going to go over what I'm mixing in here. So it looks like I started with the red pigment first, and then I'm slowly adding more and more yellow until it gradually gets to more of a yellow orange. And then I may be adding a little bit more white to make it a lighter tint of the yellow. And that's a little bit black in there. So as you can see already, with just playing around with the different types of mixing red and yellow together to make the different shades of oranges that are available, it's almost limitless. Infinite possibilities with mixing your three primary colors together, and these are just using two colors. Okay, I started a new line with kind of an orange hue, mixing the red and yellow and using a little bit more red on this time. And now I'm going to be adding more blue, making more of a, I wouldn't say red violet, but it does look like red violet, but I'm trying to get more of that purplish hue that we see in leaves, and gradually adding the intensity of how dark it can be. I might be throwing a little tiny dot of black or white just to make it a little bit more, it can even look a little bit more gray at times. Remember, when the paint dries, it will look a lot different than it goes on wet. But it's more about the color mixing, experimenting, and seeing what comes out of the color mixes that you're trying out here. Just a quick reminder to make sure you're cleaning off your tray in between all your color mixing, and you'll see that the colors have dried and they changed a little bit. It's not as shiny, and you see how some of them have flattened, and you can see the varying degrees of how either red or gray they may turn out to be. Like I said, as you go through them, you'll see the color intensity. They'll play with each other as they're next to each other. So just keep on going. I'm going to keep on mixing and laying out more rows of color, and you can see the results as I go through. Now this last row I'm gonna do really intense purple color, because with fall comes like gray skies and purple intense midnight sets. So, and it's a really good complementary contrast to the oranges and stuff. So we're gonna just do possibly like mixing in a little bit of black, a little bit of white. You'll see me showing the colors on the brushes, just getting used to seeing the range that we can produce. And it screams, fall. It screams Halloween, Thanksgiving. The colors here you see are definitely reflective of fall. And amazingly enough, they're made from the three primary colors, which are normally summer colors if you think about it. Beach balls, blankets, umbrellas, they all come from red, blue, and yellow. So enjoy the rest of the video, and we'll see the end product of the color palette we're going to produce here, and I'll show you what we're going to do with what we found. Alright, so this is the color palette all finished up and dry, and we're going to try to make a fall leaf from this palette. So I have my palette in front, just to kind of give me an idea of what I want to use as far as color range goes. Gather my brushes. I'm using the small canvas just to do a little quick sketch of a leaf. I'm just going to mix a color of orange here, just basic orange, and use it as the outline for the leaf. Now the leaf doesn't have to resemble a leaf in real life. You could just make one up. I like the spiky, sharp edges that are all, they're reminiscent of, not so much of a maple leaf, but it's kind of like it has all these spreading things. So I think it's really pretty. And obviously when they wilt, they get curled and dried out, so they're not as full. So the leaf doesn't have to all be orange. It can be varying colors of orange and purples and yellows. And you'll see I'll be playing with the intensity of the colors, filling it in with the leaf. So just enjoy the rest of the video. Observe how I'm using the colors and the mixing of the colors. Don't be afraid of overlapping and mixing. And that's pretty much it. So just observe from this part, and we'll see what you come out with. Alright, so I'm adding the final little touches to the leaf here, adding little highlights and accents, some lighter oranges, some lines of darker red, orange, or purple to give it some depth and some texture. It's not a requirement. You could also make your leaf very flat, very two-dimensional, but colorful in the same way. I'm making more like molded, kind of coming through the paper. I'm probably going to add some highlight colors, complementary colors, most likely a blue and yellow surrounding the leaf, and we'll see at the end. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you kind of experiment with many leaves. Like I said, you can paint them on different surfaces. Cardboard actually would be nice because you can start with a brown background and kind of show through it. You just have to add more white to your paint to hide the brown, but you also could use the brown to your advantage to making the leaf seem like it's turning brown. I'm just adding a couple lines of purple here just to make the leaf stand out a little bit more. And here's the finished product, and there's with the surrounding colors. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you back here soon.